Tim. Hello, Penny.
Oh gosh, hello. I was figuring this Zoom out.
Look at her. Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
It's Penny Ellis. This is my co-host Sean.
Hello.
Sean. Hello, lovely to meet you.
And you, nice to meet you.
Thank
to
you
meet
for
you.
having me on the show, the family.
Oh,
the Rice
Hey,
family.
welcome aboard.
Wakey.
Thank you. We are indeed the Risers. Penny, you may remember, was on Big Brother. And the thing is, Penny, I was refreshing my memory last night, right? And that is, you were on the second series, right? And the second series, people still hadn't got to grips with what the whole Big Brother was, right? It was really not until like the fourth or fifth series that people were really starting to understand what they were fully dealing with. And of course, you were a controversial character, Penny. There's no getting around this.
Well,
Your biggest controversy.
Well, unfortunately, I was feeding chickens and baking bread and cooking, but I didn't know on the outside that they were basically telling everyone on all the world newspapers for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because it's the only reality show, the only reality star in the world, that I was wanting to have sex with Paul, drop my towel on purpose, and obviously then the row with Stuart, you know, obviously we forgave each other, but those sorts of things are quite intriguing and up the ratings. You see, that's the thing. I think what the Endemol said that they were not going to do another show, and they said but they don't usually do a second show with these things. So I was experiencing something that didn't exist. So I was just in that house doing normal stuff, not knowing that actually I had a media created image that now is something I've not got away from. And you end up being too ordinary to be famous, too famous to be ordinary.
I noted you had said that, which really, honestly, I found that so profound, because it's very difficult when you've had that very quick level of fame and you were all over the papers, and it was all to do with the whole towel dropping thing, which in itself was so sexist. They focused on you because you were a woman doing it, and they came after you because you were a teacher.
Well, my school was 10 minutes from the house, and I was a Christian, which I am, and obviously I was a teacher. And I just thought I'd have a few weeks off at school. Remember, I was in an experience, something that didn't exist. There was no viral influencers, reality TV, reality star, bloggers, hashtag, social medias. You know, none of this existed. So I just thought it'd be fish and chip paper.
Yes.
And I'd just go back to my own self. But coming out, I was absolutely a massive, massive star. I had to have a bodyguard, people running up, signing umbrellas, signing receipts.
Wow.
And people shouting at me for nearly 2 years. I watched your feet while you slept. I did Mardi Gras with Graham Norton, just as a favour. And I was on the stage to introduce Steps, and the crowd, 88,000, went nuts for about 25 minutes. And Graham looked at me, I looked at him, Steps looked at me like, why are you so famous? And that sort of element, because going back, I met so many famous people, but with some of them, it's like, why are you famous? And I'm like, well, I don't know why I'm famous, because it didn't exist. So
being famous for being famous wasn't a thing back then.
No, it wasn't respected, you know, or it wasn't anything. And then unfortunately, I didn't join any social media. I didn't even have a computer till 2018. I didn't do anything. I didn't realize what was out there on me. And I basically missed opportunities. I joined TikTok 2021. I was terrified, and I put up a little video, and I was amazed that people actually remembered me. And it's been very humbling since then to have like yourselves and various people who've become really lovely and actually want to hear my story. But also, you know, it's just been really odd, because I never ever thought of myself as famous, and I didn't strive to become famous, but obviously there were so many opportunities there. I was offered so many things and I didn't take them. I didn't think you know, for me, you never saw reality people on telly, so you didn't think you'd be, I have got a theatre background, so I did panto. So I did panto twice because I've been trained in theatre, but I didn't take other jobs or do other things because I just didn't even see myself as anything, because you never saw anybody being a reality, you never saw a reality star. Some of them obviously really got to grips with social media and got themselves out there and did stuff.
Oh, it's a whole different ball game now. They have their, you know, they have their endorsements before they even come out. Go on, Sean.
Sorry, Sonia. Do you think that the kind of amount of hype that was created was by the nasty side of the UK press, or do you think Channel 4 had a hand in it? I know that's quite
well, they had, you see, they had, you know, afterwards, obviously I put it all in my book, but they had reporters, you know, they had people on their side. And obviously there's no duty of care then. But obviously they're trying to, like with anything, I've made my peace, I've claimed back my narrative, I've written it. It was terrifying to write it because I've found every single article and I've written in there everything that's been written and the development of social media and the reality of being in a house just coming out in some sort of realm of another place. But you see, the trouble is, so I think between them all, what that I've said in my TikTok stuff, I accept it because papers have got to have a hook. So they're going to write something slanderous, they're going to write something provocative. You've got to expect that. And I think for people going in now, even more so, you know, you've got to expect, if you've got something secret, they're going to find it. Ooh. And also I've said, if you go in there, what I've realized over my life, because I've spent 23 years in living in shame, living in fear, living in mental illness, living in rejections from schools, kept trying till 2020 to teach, being stuff thrown at me and horror and thing, and living, because if you leave that dragon that dragon, that breath of fame, you will never go back to who you were. You'll always be. So I've made my peace and accepted. I'm Penny from Big Brother. But the trouble is, you'll never get back from that. And what I'd say to people is, don't go in there and expect fame because you'll be disappointed. Don't expect anything. And also, if you go in there with OCD or real self-destructive cycles, you'll come out and they'll escalate. Just because you're famous, you won't get rid of what your lurgies are. Right,
let's talk about your book, Meet Me at the Mirror, Dealing with Reality. Fantastic title. Love that title. And
have you got yours yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, no.
But when I receive it, I will make sure to bring it on Rise and let people know about it. So don't worry. But I think I gather the sort of premise of it, really. And it's basically, like you say, it's about reclaiming your truth, because you've had 20 years of being mocked and ridiculed. And as you say, you got to a stage where you couldn't even walk down the street. And that's kind of mind-blowing, because a lot of people are trained for fame. You were not trained for fame. And so you just had to deal with the fallout of it. And that the impact on your mental health is what worries me the most. How are you these days?
Well, I've been very ill with it over the years. Lots of depression. I lost my reputation. I lost my church. Lost my friends. You know, I lost things. My home. I lost my money. I lost my integrity. I went down destructive cycles because you just get into that and you just feel, once you let yourself be like that, you just carry on like that. So I had a big turning point when I met Mark in 2010, and a massive turning point in 2020 when he finally said, I'll help you with the book, because he had to read 5 different drafts. And he said, you can't just write 1 page on this. And I said, I can't do this. I can't go deeper. And I had to go deeper, because if it's going to help people, I had to tell it all. And I've been in a dreadful state, in all honesty, for 20 years, quietly, because the trouble is, I felt too ashamed to ask for any help. There wasn't duty of care. The producers now are trained for fitness for inclusion. So they've been allowed to see doctor medical records, because there's no way they should put someone in who's so vulnerable, who's so low self-esteem. So they hopefully they find strong enough people to cope, because the strengths you need, and I finally found that strength in 2020, because I left the last school I was in. Fantastic jobs. I'm a really good teacher, but 4 months in, suddenly they find it all, because they've all got their phones, you know. And that woman came in my classroom, called me a paedophile, told me I should be in prison, and that was disgusting.
Wow.
And I thought, enough. This is me done. I've been escorted off by security because they found stuff. They put it on the head's desk. I've had to have discussions with the schools. I dyed my hair black. I wore glasses. I did never use Penny Ellis' name.
Lord, such a cautionary tale.
Like living as another person inside of hiding the Big Brother thing. If you hide something in a cupboard, in the dark, it's going to grow.
Of course it is.
Finally
Go on,
burst
Sean.
out.
It's
But my
pe-
faith has saved me. If I didn't have my faith, I probably would have done something.
Well, that's
really
what I'm
worse.
just about to say. But what people don't realise is there's been 38 reality suicides, which you
Yes.
comment on.
Yes.
Which is huge. But you know.
Yes. Yeah. And people still now are suffering. You know, people still are quietly suffering. Some of them have messaged me on Twitter, and I think, blimey, you know, and they're trusting me with what they're saying. I'm not going to tell anyone. And I'm thinking, so if the book can help people know, because how many out of all the reality TV shows, I've been in the papers for 23 years. Rylan put on his Twitter page in 2020 for the launch of 20th anniversary of Big Brother, which was an absolute nightmare for me in schools. Let's all remember Dame Penny. And then that was me, Davina, and him all over the papers to celebrate the 20th anniversary. Why me out of all these people? And then very quickly,
there's gone through there.
I have all these people, though. Why me? Why pick me? And then, you know, and then also, I think my book will help because 10 of us go in a house, so 10 times whatever around the world. Only one of them might make it. You're not going to expect to get anywhere. Like, it'd be lovely to get a presenting job or do something. But how many of us are sitting here? I'm washing up now in Morrison's.
Right.
You know, how many of them are sitting in a bed sit? And then the papers then go, like, where are they now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That much
There's a
weight,
lot of shame.
lost all their money, you know, and then they dig you in the back with that. Where are you now? I don't mind washing up. I'm a pot washer. I don't care. I love it. I go down there and wash up. And they've written it all in the tabloids. There's a massive thing coming out in the magazine soon. It's just gone into all the, and I don't mind because I phoned them up and they kindly rewrote the article with my link to my book in, which was very kind of them. Beth Alcock at the Sun. So that was really kind. And that's the first time I've run the papers.
It's the least they could do for you.
It is the least they could do.
It's the least they could do for you.
But I was really grateful, and I was so frightened to ring them. And my husband said, ring them, and I did. And then they did the story again. I was so relieved. So that was really nice.
Oh,
but,
Penny,
not that they paid me anything.
It's a cautionary tale that you have to tell us, really, isn't it? Because the reality is people, we live in an era where people want to be famous and they think that going on a reality show is their fast track to fame, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be you holding a boiling bowl of water over your head for the rest of your life, because fame, you know, isn't normal.
No,
in itself, unless you've got your manager, you've got loads of money, you've got a producer, you've got a fantastic job, you know, you've got loads of parties to go to, whatever, you're going to be this famous thing, and then you've got to work at that. That's hard work. Like now I'm working on my social media. I didn't even know what a hashtag was. I'm so naive, you know, and I'm working on it, and you know, and at the end of the day, it's hard work, you know, to actually sell myself, you know.
I don't even
like
think
finding it a bit, you know.
I bet I can imagine. I don't even think you get 15 minutes of fame anymore. I think it's probably 5, probably less these days. So if you haven't got the right head screwed on or the right team around you,
you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
What Penny has to say is so important. I can't wait to read your book, Penny. Meet Me at the Mirror, Dealing with Reality. Available online, presumably.
Yeah, Morgan Lawrence Publishers, and then it's also on Amazon and, you know, whatever, all the other ones. And it's in the bookshops, Waterstones, everything. But Morgan Lawrence is my publisher. He's marvelous. He waited. I kept not finishing it, and he's been absolute gem. So he's a lovely person. So it's very nice to have lovely people, and you've been lovely and just nice people in my life. I enjoyed you on Big
Brother, Penny. I said this to you. I enjoyed you. I thought she's got some cojones. You know,
I've got a bad memory.
Very outspoken, you know, and it was a great deal of fun, and I very much enjoyed it. Sorry we have to let you go, but everybody, Penny Ellis, former Big Brother. Thank you, Nick, for drafting Penny our way. Lovely to meet you, Penny. Take good care of yourself.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bless her. What an important tale she has to tell there, Sean.